The Marine Air-Ground Task Force. Since the Second World War, the Marine Corps has deployed projection forces known for their ability to quickly disembark and sustain themselves for extended periods of time during operations. The Magtf was the next step in the evolution of the Marine Corps. The four elements of a Magtf are what grant it the incredible flexibility required to complete the tasks they accomplish. These include the command element, the unit directing all the elements. A ground combat element composed of infantry, armor, and artillery. An air combat element including all Marine aircraft. And the logistics combat element, supplies, communications, and motor transport. Magtfs have given the United States a wide range of response options when American and Allied interests are under threat. These missions can be defensive, offensive, and humanitarian. When a quick response is warranted, a Magtf can deploy in a moment's notice in any climb and place to accomplish any mission. This is the Marine Air-Ground Task Force.
The Ground Combat Element, or the GCE, is the ground component of the Marine Air-Ground Task Force. For the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, it's Battalion Landing Team 1-4, which is composed of 1st Battalion, 4th Marines, along with all the enablers and attachments that go along with Field Team 1-4. The mission of the Ground Combat Element is really the same mission as the infantry for the last 248 years, to find, close up, and destroy the enemy. On 31st MU, we have different insert platforms. We have the boat company, we have the mech moto company, we have the helo company, and really that's make sure we can have a variety of insert methods to make sure we can close with and destroy the enemy. So the Ground Combat Element, it's what enables the Magtf to occupy and hold terrain on the ground. So the Indo-Pacific, characterized mainly by jungle terrain. The key thing about jungle terrain, it's extremely hard to maneuver in. It's extremely hard to do basic things in. So for example, communication is made a lot harder. Just walking around is a lot harder. Maintaining and seizing ground, that is our job, and that is made exponentially harder in jungle terrain because of the fact that you can't see very far. You have dense vegetation keeping you separated from the people that are 100 meters away from you. In order to hold ground, seize ground, in order to make sure enemy can't affect ground, really you need a large ground presence in order to make that happen. Or you need sensors that can make that happen, right? And the only way you're going to be able to have to put sensors in and make sure those sensors remain in place is with a ground contingent there to ensure they're operational and make sure they're still working correctly. The capability of the ground combat element doesn't really change, right? We're here to bring guns. We're here to fight. Things that make the fight easier, less attrition and more maneuver, right? We bring our enablers in to do that. So things like electronic warfare, electronic attack. When I was in infantry battalion in 2017, we didn't have those things organic to a company. And now whenever I go on our raid, I have guys with fancy backpacks to make sure I can do EWEA at the company level. The thing that makes the GC operationally relevant is the fact that no matter what happens, you can have sweet aircraft coming in, dropping bombs, but the thing you always need to retain terrain, retain and seize ground is Marines on the deck. You need boots on the ground in order to hold that terrain. The reason why the Marine Corps fits so well in the Indo-Pacific are amphibious routes, but I think the biggest thing that we have is that junior Marine, that like junior Lance Corporal, that junior Corporal that is in charge of Marines, that is pushing the fight in Indo-PACOM. That innovation and that responsibility we place in those junior Marines is unparalleled in any service. You need that in the Pacific specifically because we have to be so disaggregated. That means a lot of decentralized command. And the only reason we can do it, and the only reason why we're successful at it, is because of the responsibility we place in junior Marines.
The ACE, to me, the Aviation Combat Element, means the collection of all the aviation assets that the Marine Corps has to provide. The V-22 Ospreys, the CH-53 Echo Super Stallions, the F-35 Lightnings, the H-1s, including the utility helicopters and the attack helicopters. It brings every one of those units together, and the maintainers involved and everyone involved to keep those units alive, all in one place. So the overall intent behind the Aviation Combat Element is to provide the 6 functions of marine aviation to the MU and phase capabilities ashore to continue momentum in a multi-domain environment. We're conducting a lot of training specifically towards that guidance. So with the Expeditionary Advanced Base Operations, our planning, our proficiency, our currency, all of our mission set is driven towards that guidance. Whether it's aircraft like the Cobras and the Hueys, developing new techniques, so even though they can't have the range that the other aircraft do, they're still very relevant in a near-peer threat, including developing our new assets, like capabilities the F-35 brings to the table, and the assault support aircraft behind me brings to the table. We're using all those combined to stay relevant in this Indo-PACOM. For sustained conflict in a forward operating space, the ACE is going to use the assault support aircraft combined with the combat logistics battalion, and we're going to project our power forward using expeditionary advanced base operation techniques combined with the forward arming and refueling points, and also moving C2 or command and control power forward to allow us to operate in any environment for short-term or long-term capabilities. So the ACE is ready for anything, whether it's jungle warfare and our capabilities to insert people without actually landing on the ground via fast rope, via boats, via any capabilities that we organically bring as a MU. The ACE is always ready to support all of those missions. The ultimate goal with our capabilities as an aviation combat element is to execute our mission set day or night, no matter the time, whether it's noon or midnight, we're ready to execute.
So I'm a F-35 pilot. I'm a 5th gen stealth fighter. I want to be flying at night. We train a lot to have a high level of proficiency to out-cycle our adversaries and respond to any threat in kind. We're able to offer speed of maneuver, real-time battlefield assessments, insertion, extraction, things that are not innate to a ground element exclusively.
Oh, saved. Direct hit.
CLB-31 is here to ensure that the Magtf mission can be executed for whatever duration that America calls for. CLB-31 is always part of the MU. We don't decomposite and recomposite with each of the patrols or each of the floats, if you will. And so while the ACE and the BLT come and go, we're a constant, we're a steady for the MU, and I really enjoy the relationship that we share with them. CLB-31's mission is to provide combat service support to the Magtf above and beyond what its organic capacity can support. And so what this means is that the Magtf goes in with a certain capability, a certain amount of beans, bullets, band-aids, etc. CLB is there to be that safety net, to provide everything that they may need for enduring operations, for whatever the Magtf may call for. I think when people think about a combat logistics battalion, we mostly consider we have a robust medical capacity, we provide dental, we have transportation support, just as some of the examples that CLB-31 provides. CLB-31 has 3 current standing missions. The MASCAS, the non-combatant evacuation, and the HADR, humanitarian aid disaster relief. MASCAS is a mission that we regularly practice, and so MASCAS standing mission is called upon when a unit ashore has received so many casualties that overcome their organic capacity to be able to respond. And so in that situation, the commander may choose to put the MASCAS team from our shipping belonging to CLB-31 ashore to provide some of that critical care, triaging that the specialized doctors, nurses, and corpsmen assigned to CLB-31 can provide. Our FHA, or Foreign Humanitarian Aid mission, CLB-31 maintains a constant relationship with the Bureau of Humanitarian Aid, specifically USAID. CLB-31 is very likely to be the main effort for that. The thing with the Foreign Humanitarian Aid mission is that every one of them is different, every situation is different, but it's a Department of Defense in support of Department of State mission, and if Indo-PACOM needs some kind of response to a foreign humanitarian aid mission, and 31st MU is most postured to respond to it, then CLB-31 is going to be the execution arm for that mission. Every Marine under 31st MU and in CLB-31 recognizes that Indo-PACOM is a contested region, a part of the world that is regularly brought up as potential for flashpoints. With that idea in mind, whether we're doing a training exercise, whether that training exercise is evaluated or not, is irrelevant. What we do out here matters, and it feels real to us, and you can see the buy-in when you look the Marine in the eyes and tell him that we're about to go do something. Whether it's around Okinawa or somewhere else in Indo-PACOM, you can feel that they're invested in it because they know that where we're at in the world matters.